necessarily smarter. They are less distracted. 1 hour of deep focus beats 10 hours of distracted effort. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. Habit 10. Systems over motivation. Most people live goal to goal. They get motivated, push hard, burn out, repeat. Successful people build systems. Motivation is emotional. Systems are mechanical. A system works even when you don't feel like working. So instead of asking, how do I stay motivated, they ask, how do I make success automatic? They remove friction from good habits. They add friction to bad ones. They automate discipline through routines, reviews, and non-negotiables. That's why success can look effortless from the outside, because the real work was built into the system. How to become a millionaire on a 9-to-5. Salary. Get rich from nothing. How to become a millionaire on a 9-to-5 salary. Most people believe the biggest lie about money, that the reason they'll never be rich is because they have a job. They think the paycheck is the prison. They think the salary is the ceiling. And because they believe that, they stop thinking. They stop planning. They stop building. They stop seeing options. But what if the job was never the real problem? What if the real enemy is the way you think about that job? Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Millions of millionaires were once employees, many still are. They didn't become wealthy despite the 9-to-5. They built wealth through it. Not by grinding harder. Not by burning out. By using the system while everyone else stayed trapped inside it. This audiobook isn't fantasy. It isn't luck. It isn't quit tomorrow and manifest wealth. This is about control, control of your money, your time, your decisions, and your future. Listen closely, because if you apply this, you'll never see your paycheck the same way again. Chapter 1. Why most 9-to-5 workers stay poor. Most employees aren't broke because they earn too little. They are broke because they were never taught what money is for. They think income is the goal. But income isn't the goal. Income is the fuel. And if you don't know how to use fuel, you burn it and go nowhere. The average worker lives like this: money comes in. Bills go out. Whatever remains disappears. No direction. No structure. No strategy. Then they blame the job. But two people can earn the same salary. One stays broke forever, the other becomes financially free, same paycheck. Different thinking. Wealth isn't built by how much you make. Wealth is built by what you do next. Most people do nothing. They wait, hope, complain, and spend their future to feel comfortable today. Then they repeat for decades, until retirement feels like fear, not freedom. That's not a money problem. That's a mindset problem. Chapter 2. Your paycheck is not your life, it's your tool. Here's the shift that changes everything. Your salary is not your identity. It's not your worth. It's not your destiny. It's a tool, and tools can trap you or launch you. Most people treat their paycheck like oxygen. They spend all of it just to survive another month. Future millionaires treat paychecks like weapons. They deploy them. They aim them. They use them to buy freedom one piece at a time. Your job gives you a major advantage most people waste: predictable cash flow. Predictability is power. It allows planning. It allows systems. It allows consistent investing. Your job isn't the end. It's the engine, if you use it like one. Chapter 3. Why more money won't save you. Most employees say, if I made more, everything would change. No. It wouldn't. More money with the same habits equals bigger problems. Money doesn't create discipline. It reveals it. That's why raises disappear. That's why bonuses vanish. That's why lottery winners often go broke. Before you earn more, become someone who can keep more. Before you grow income, grow control. And control starts with one decision. You stop living paycheck to paycheck, not when you earn more, but when you decide to. Chapter 4. The Real Escape Plan. Most people think escaping the 9 to 5 means quitting. Wrong. Quitting without assets is just unemployment with stress. The escape plan isn't a leave. It's replace. You don't replace your job with freedom. You replace it with ownership. Ownership of assets, ownership of systems, ownership of income that doesn't require your presence. Your job funds the build. Your evenings build the machine. Your weekends buy your future, just for a season, not forever. The wealthy understand a rule most people never learn: short-term sacrifice buys permanent leverage. And the 9 to 5 can be the safest funding source you'll ever have, if you use it correctly. Chapter 5. The moment you stop being just an employee. There's a quiet internal moment when everything shifts. You stop asking, how do I survive this job? And start asking, how do I use this job? That's when you stop being a worker and become a builder. You stop counting hours. You start counting moves. You stop spending for status. You start investing for control. While others talk about weekends, you design exits. While others wait for promotions, you create options. While others fear layoffs, you prepare to outgrow the job. Now we address the most dangerous trap of all, a lifestyle that keeps people poor even when income rises. Chapter 6. The Lifestyle Trap. The most dangerous thing for a 9 to 5 worker isn't low income. It's a comfortable income. Because comfort kills urgency. Comfort kills vision. When your paycheck rises just enough to cover nicer clothes, a newer car, a better phone, a bigger apartment, something subtle happens. You feel successful, but you're not free. You're just trapped at a higher level. That's lifestyle inflation. Money increases, but freedom doesn't, because obligations expand too much. Instead of asking, how does this buy freedom, most people ask, what can I upgrade? And the same paycheck that once felt like relief starts feeling tight again, not because it's small, but because it's assigned. Chapter 7. Why the wealthy live below their means. Live below your means doesn't mean suffering. It means delaying consumption until ownership replaces effort. Wealthy people don't hate nice things. They refuse to buy them with their future. Every dollar spent today is a worker you could have hired for tomorrow. So while others upgrade lifestyle, the future-rich upgrade systems, assets before aesthetics, leverage before luxury, control before comfort, because comfort is best enjoyed when it's permanent, not rented month to month. Chapter 8. The Rule of Non-Negotiable. Investing. Here's a rule that changes everything: pay your future first. Not if money is left over. Not when things improve. First, every time. This isn't emotional. It's mechanical. A fixed percentage of your income must go to ownership, investments, assets, skills that increase earning power. Most people invest when they feel ready. The wealthy invest until they become ready. Consistency beats intensity. Discipline beats motivation. Chapter 9. Saving alone won't make you rich. Saving matters, but saving alone won't make you wealthy. Saving preserves. Investing multiplies. If you only save, you store energy you never use. Inflation erodes it. Fear freezes it. Money must move to grow into assets, ownership, systems. Your goal isn't to hoard cash. It's to convert cash into things that work without you. Freedom doesn't come from having money. It comes from having money that moves without your permission. Chapter 10. The Shift from Earning to Building. Employees live in an earning mindset. How much can I make? How do I get a raise? How do I survive another year? Millionaires live in a building mindset. What can I own? What can I automate? What pays me in 5 years? When you think like a builder, your job loses emotional power. It becomes your funding source, not your identity. You extract value from it calmly, skills, income, stability, while building beyond it. Chapter 11. Time is the real battle. People say they don't have money to invest. Often the deeper problem is time discipline. They trade evenings for entertainment, weekends for distraction, energy for comfort. Then they wonder why nothing changes. Future millionaires protect time before they have money. Because time compounds faster than money. An hour invested consistently becomes leverage. Leverage over time becomes freedom. Chapter 12. The 3 destinations of every dollar. Every dollar you earn goes to one of 3 places. 1. Consumption, spending. 2. Preservation, saving. 3. Production, investing. Most people send nearly everything to consumption, a little to saving, and almost nothing to production. That's backwards. Production should come first, because production creates independence. If your money doesn't come back, it wasn't an investment. It was entertainment. Chapter 13. Skills before capital. If you're starting from nothing, your first asset is often not a stock or property. It's a skill. Skills create leverage. Skills create options. Skills create income streams from thin air. Sales, writing, marketing, design, coding, negotiation, management, these aren't hobbies. They are multipliers. The wealthy see skills as infrastructure. And infrastructure always pays. Chapter 14. The myth of one big break. Most people wait for one moment, a raise, an inheritance, a lucky investment, a breakthrough idea. That waiting mindset is poison. Wealth is built through repetition, small investments made consistently, skills applied repeatedly, income streams built layer by layer. There's no explosion. There's accumulation. And accumulation rewards patience and discipline, not hope. Chapter 15. How to build wealth without burnout. Building wealth while working full-time is where most people fail, not because they're lazy, but because they build the wrong way. If your wealth plan demands the same energy as your job, you'll burn out. Your job uses active energy, focused, draining. Wealth is built with creative energy, strategic, calm, scalable. If your side income feels like another job, it's not worth building. It's overtime. A rule that works: 90 focused minutes a day. No phone. No scrolling. No noise. Learning skills. Building systems. Creating leverage. 90 minutes daily for a year beats 10-hour burst once a month. Chapter 16. The psychological traps that keep workers stuck. Raises don't create wealth if identity stays the same. Most people upgrade lifestyle, not freedom. They were taught the safe path: school, job, loyalty, slow climb, but safe is often just dependence. If income stops when you stop, you don't have security, you have permission. And permission can be revoked. Smart people stay broke not because they lack intelligence, but because they overthink. Wealth rewards decisive action, not perfect planning. And growth can cost something else. You may outgrow your environment. That's why many people stay small. Comfort and familiarity feel safe. But comfort can be the most dangerous drug. It numbs urgency. Later becomes the most expensive word you ever use. It costs compounding. The people who win move while uncertain. Chapter 17. The escape sequence. No one goes from broke to rich overnight. There are stages. Stage 1. Survival. Income equals expenses. One emergency breaks everything. Your goal here is stabilization, control, buffer, removing leaks. Stage 2. Stability. Bills are covered. Panic reduces. You can think clearly. The danger becomes comfort. Comfort kills urgency. Stage 3. Ownership. You stop asking, how much do I earn? You start asking, what do I own? Ownership changes everything. You think in systems, in decades, in compounding. Income plus time equals burnout. Income plus ownership equals freedom. Chapter 18, When Discipline Becomes Identity. This is the phase no one claps for. At first, you force habits, saving, learning, investing, building after hours. It feels heavy. Then one day it doesn't. You stop negotiating with yourself. You act because it's who you are. That's discipline becoming identity. Most people quit right before this shift because rewards lack effort early on. The wealthy understand it isn't failure. It's incubation. Compounding is invisible, then unstoppable. Self-respect becomes your strongest asset. When you do what you said you'd do, you stop seeking validation. You move with calm certainty. Final message. Getting rich from a 9-to-5 was never about the job. It was always about what you did around it, how you used stability, how you built ownership, how you turned income into assets. The job isn't the cage. Your thinking is. If this changed something in you, keep it. Awareness is the first asset. Discipline is the second. Everything else is built. And one day, without announcing it, without proving it, without explaining it, you look back and realize how to build assets that pay you forever. Stop working for money, start owning it. Rewritten script. 01. Most people wake up already exhausted, not because the day has started, but because they know exactly how it ends. Alarm. Commute. Work. Stress. Bills. Sleep. Repeat. And somewhere underneath the routine is a quiet truth they try not to hear: if I stop working, everything stops. That isn't freedom. That's survival. And survival is expensive because the real cost isn't money. It's time. This audiobook isn't about grinding harder. It isn't about hustling forever. It isn't about chasing the next paycheck. This is how to build assets that pay you forever. And once you understand this, money stops being something you chase and becomes something you command. The lie that keeps people poor. You were taught a rule: work hard, get a job, and you'll be safe. But safety was an illusion. Because if the job disappears, the income disappears. Then the security disappears. Then the options disappear. That isn't safety. That's dependency. The wealthy understand something most people never learn: money should work harder than you do. They don't trade hours for dollars. They trade systems for freedom. And here's the uncomfortable truth: hard work alone doesn't make you wealthy. Hard work makes you tired. Ownership makes you rich. The difference that changes everything. There are only two kinds of income. 1. Active income, money that stops when you stop. 2. Asset income, money that continues without you. If your income requires your presence, your effort, your time, you don't own your life. Your life owns you. Assets are different. Assets work while you sleep. They earn while you rest. They grow while you live. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket without demanding your constant attention. Not someday. Not after retirement. Now. And when you truly understand that, a switch flips in your mind. Because time is the real currency. Money can be earned again. Time cannot. Every hour you trade for money is an hour you never get back. So the wealthy obsess over one question: how do I separate my income from my time? Because when income disconnects from time, freedom begins. A salary pays once. An asset pays again and again and again. One idea can feed you for years. One system can fund your life. One decision can change your future permanently. The employee trap. Most people live in a loop they never question. Work to pay bills. Pay bills to survive. Survive to keep working. Raise the income and expenses rise too. More comfort becomes more dependency. More obligations become less freedom. This isn't an accident. The system produces workers, not owners. But ownership is the exit. What assets really are? Assets aren't just real estate or stocks. Assets are machines that convert effort into income long after the effort is done. Assets can be businesses that run on systems, digital products, content platforms, intellectual property, scalable processes, investments that compound skills packaged once and sold repeatedly. The wealthy don't ask, how much does this cost? They ask, how long will this pay me? That question separates the rich from everyone else. The moment everything changes. Every wealthy person reaches a moment where the question changes. They stop asking, how do I earn more? And start asking, how do I build something that earns without me? That question creates leverage. Leverage creates scale. Scale creates freedom. And freedom changes how you move through the world. You stop rushing. You stop panicking. You stop trading peace for money because your money has started working. The real goal of wealth isn't luxury. It's time, choice, peace, control of schedule. Control of environment. Control of direction. Assets by that control. And the earlier you start building them, the faster compounding works for you instead of against you. What this audiobook will teach you. You're going to learn why trading time for money keeps you stuck, how assets can be built from nothing, why ownership beats effort every time, how ordinary people create leverage, how systems replace exhaustion, how patience creates exponential results, how to think like an owner, not a worker. But before you build your first asset, you must understand the most important distinction in money, assets versus liabilities. Because almost everyone gets it wrong. Chapter 2, Assets versus liabilities. Most people don't build wealth. They build weight. Weight that demands constant effort just to stay in place. That weight is made of liabilities disguised as success. Here is the distinction: an asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Simple, but society celebrates liabilities: bigger house, newer car, constant upgrade, subscriptions, and convenience lifestyle, inflation dressed up as progress. And here's the truth most people resist: if it doesn't pay you, it owns you. Why high earners still stay broke? You've seen it, people with big incomes still living paycheck to paycheck. Because income doesn't create wealth, structure does. If every dollar you earn disappears into expenses, you're not building wealth. You're feeding a machine that never stops eating. The wealthy flip the order: they buy assets first. Lifestyle comes later. Most people buy lifestyle first, then hope income catches up. It doesn't. The lifestyle trap. The moment income rises, expenses rise faster. More comfort. More convenience. More dependency. Soon you earn more, but you're more trapped. Now quitting feels impossible, because the lifestyle became a cage. Assets are the key out. Assets don't care if you're tired. They don't care if you take a day off. They work quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Every asset you own reduces pressure. One asset pays a bill. Another replaces a chunk of income. Another buys your time back. That's how freedom is built, slowly, then suddenly. The question that reveals everything. Ask yourself this honestly: if I stopped working tomorrow, what would still pay me? If the answer is a nothing, then your life is built on active income only. But that can change. The goal is not to look wealthy. The goal is to be free. And freedom begins with your first real asset. Chapter 3, Why? Passive income is no longer optional. There was a time when working harder was enough. When loyalty paid. When staying busy meant staying safe. That time is gone. Technology didn't just speed things up. It replaced things. If your income depends entirely on your physical presence, your income is fragile. One illness. One burnout. One industry shift, and everything stops. Passive income isn't laziness. Passive income means doing the work once, then letting systems work repeatedly. You work hard up front so you don't work hard forever. That's not lazy. That's intelligent. The 3 types of income. 1. Earned income, paid for time. 2. Portfolio income, paid for capital. 3. Passive income, paid for ownership. Earned income stops when you stop. Passive income continues even when you're silent. And that creates something priceless, peace. Without systems, every expense feels heavy. With even one small passive stream, pressure drops, not because you're rich, but because you're not helpless. Helplessness is the enemy. Most people never build passive income because it doesn't reward immediately. It demands patience, belief, and discipline without applause. But compounding works in 2 directions. Money compounds. Confidence compounds. Once you see money arrive without effort, your mind changes. You plan longer. You think bigger. You stop rushing. The future belongs to owners, because owners don't panic when the world shifts. Chapter 4. The assets that can pay you forever. Let's be clear, not everything that looks like an asset is an asset. A bigger house that drains cash. A flashy car that loses value daily. A business that collapses if you take a week off. Those aren't assets. They are prettier cages. An asset must meet one standard: it pays you consistently without requiring your daily presence. If it needs you every day, it's a job. If it stops when you stop, it's labor. If it pays even when you're not there, it's ownership. Asset Category 1. Cash flowing systems. A business that runs on process, delegation, and structure, not hero effort. Most people fail because they try to be the engine. The wealthy become the architect. Systems don't burn out. Talent does. Asset Category 2. Digital assets. Create once. Sell repeatedly. Courses, books, software, templates, licensing, content libraries. Digital assets are powerful because time stops being the limit. Most people never build them because they underestimate their own knowledge. What's obvious to you can be valuable to someone else. Asset Category 3. Real assets that produce cash. Rental property that cash flows after expenses. Storage. Income-producing land. Infrastructure. The wealthy don't buy property. They buy income streams wrapped in property. Cash flow buys time. Appreciation is a bonus, not a plan. Asset Category 4. Long-term ownership and compounding. Equity, index funds, dividend strategies, reinvestment. This is slow money, but loyal money. The wealthy don't gamble here. They accumulate. The rule of diversification. Beginners go all in on one thing. The wealthy spread risk across systems, not distractions. Different asset types. Different timelines. Same direction. And yes, assets are slow at first. They don't validate you immediately. No applause. No praise. No instant reward. That's why most people quit early. But if you survive the lonely phase, you earn the right to compound. Chapter 5. Start. Where you are. The lie that keeps people stuck is simple: I'm too late. I don't have enough money. I missed my chance. That belief destroys futures. Because wealth doesn't reward perfect timing. It rewards alignment and consistency. Starting broke isn't a disadvantage. It's clarity. Comfort delays action. Pain accelerates it. Most people don't fail from lack of capital. They fail from lack of direction. So start in the correct order. 1. Build a skill that converts to cash. 2. Turn active income into seed capital. 3. Protect capital by killing leaks and ego spending. 4. Build your first simple asset. 5. Reinvest. Don't reward small wins matter. They change identity. Once you see money arrive without trading hours, your brain rewires. Then compounding becomes possible. Chapter 6. The shift from worker thinking to owner thinking. Before money changes, identity changes. Employees ask, how much do I get paid for this? Owners ask, how does this pay me repeatedly? Hard work without leverage is exhaustion. Even high earners can be trapped if income stops when they stop. Ownership isn't status. It's control over time, location, income flow, decisions. Ask the ownership question, if I disappear for 30 days, does this still pay me? If not, you don't own income. You rent it from your energy. Ownership requires patience. Consumption requires nothing. The wealthy don't avoid pleasure. They postpone it. And boring consistency beats exciting inconsistency every time. Chapter 7. The invisible enemy. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because building assets feels uncomfortable by design. Assets demand delayed gratification, unseen effort, long stretches without validation. Your brain prefers certainty, even when certainty costs freedom. Paychecks feel safe. Assets feel uncertain at first. Hustle feels productive because it's loud. Asset building feels slow because it's quiet. An identity fights back. I'll start when I'm ready. I need more information. This isn't the right time. Those aren't logical thoughts. They are fear responses dressed as logic. Every builder enters the lonely phase. It's not failure. It's initiation. The wealth gap is mental first, before it's financial. The internal win happens when you stop needing proof and start prioritizing alignment. Final chapter. Choose ownership. You can keep trading time for money. Or you can build something that outlives your effort. The difference isn't intelligence. It's commitment to ownership. Assets don't change your life overnight. They change it inevitably, quietly, permanently. And one day, without warning, you realize you're no longer working for money. Money is working for you. Get super rich the simple way. The simple way to get rich, full audiobook, a written script. 01. Most people think getting rich is loud. They picture dramatic breakthroughs, viral moments, risky bets that suddenly pay off. They chase fast money. And that belief is exactly why most people stay broke. Because real wealth is quiet. It's built in boring mornings. In decisions nobody applauds. In habits that don't look impressive until years later. If money feels overwhelming. If you work hard but always feel behind. If you've chased opportunity after opportunity and still feel stuck. This audiobook is for you. Because wealth isn't built by doing more. It's built by doing less, consistently. In the simple way to get rich, you learn why simplicity beats complexity, why patience outperforms brilliance, and why most people fail financially not because they are incapable, but because they've been trained to play the wrong game. And here's the first truth you need to hear: you don't get rich by chasing more. You get rich by needing less. That sentence can change your life if you let it. We live in a world that profits from your confusion. Ads tell you you're missing something. Platforms feed comparison. Trends whisper that you're behind. So you spend. You upgrade. You chase status disguised as success. And slowly, the gap between what you earn and what you keep disappears. Most people don't fail financially because they don't earn enough. They fail because they never protect the gap between income and expenses, the gap between impulse and intention, the gap between today's pleasure and tomorrow's freedom. This audiobook isn't about shortcuts. It's about leverage. And leverage doesn't come from complexity. It comes from clarity. We are going to strip wealth down to its bones. No hype, no jargon, no fantasy timelines, just principles that keep working even when motivation fades. You learn why wealth is a mindset before it's a number, why debt is psychological as well as financial, why boring investing beats exciting investing, why consistency beats luck over time, why freedom matters more than income, how to design a life where money stops being fear. This is education, a way of thinking. Because when your thinking changes, your behavior changes. And behavior is everything. Let's be clear early, being rich doesn't mean living extravagantly. It means living optionally. It means you can say no. You can sleep without anxiety. You can walk away from what drains you. That level of freedom doesn't require genius. It requires discipline. And discipline is easier when your life is simple. The wealthy don't win because they know secret tricks. They win because they follow boring rules longer than everyone else, spend less than you earn. Avoid bad debt. Invest consistently. Ignore noise. Let time do the heavy lifting. That's it. No mystery, just patience. Patience is uncomfortable in a world addicted to immediacy. At first, this path feels lonely. Your progress looks invisible. You feel like you're missing out. Until one day, you're not. Until one day you realize something quietly radical. You don't need more money. You need fewer leaks. You don't need luck. You need time, undisturbed by bad decisions. And once you understand that, wealth stops feeling far away. It starts feeling inevitable. Before we go further, ask yourself, if nothing changed in how I handle money for the next 10 years, where would I end up? That answer matters because wealth doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to patterns. And the first pattern is mental, the way you think about money before you ever touch it. Chapter 2, Money is a behavior, not a number. Most people think money problems are math problems. They are not. They are behavior problems. If money were just math, anyone with a calculator would be wealthy. But two people can earn the same income, live in the same city, and still end up in completely different financial realities. One feels trapped. The other feels free. The difference isn't intelligence. It's behavior. And behavior comes from belief. Most people were taught to treat money emotionally, celebrate it, fear it, show it, escape with it, so they spend when stressed. Upgrade when insecure. Avoid numbers when ashamed. Money becomes pressure instead of power. Wealthy people treat money differently. Money is a tool, not a reward, not a status symbol, not therapy. Here's an uncomfortable truth: how you spend money reveals how you regulate emotion. Impulse spending is rarely about wanting the thing. It's about wanting relief. Relief from boredom. Relief from comparison. Relief from anxiety. That's why most budgets fail. They attack numbers without addressing behavior. They try to restrict spending without understanding why spending happens. Wealth begins when awareness replaces denial. When you stop asking, how can I make more? And start asking, why do I spend what I already have? That one question changes everything. Simplicity matters because complexity creates friction. Every unnecessary subscription. Every impulse purchase. Every lifestyle upgrade. Friction slows wealth. Simplicity accelerates it. The wealthy don't chase happiness through spending. They chase peace through margin. Margin between income and expenses. Margin between effort and obligation. Margin between wants and needs. Margin creates breathing room. Breathing room creates clarity. Clarity creates better decisions. Better decisions compound. And compounding is the engine. Another truth: getting rich is often more about avoiding mistakes than making perfect moves. Avoiding high-interest debt, lifestyle, inflation, emotional spending, complexity disguised as sophistication, overconfidence. Most people don't need higher returns. They need fewer self-inflicted wounds. Because every bad decision steals time. And time is the only non-renewable asset. Chapter 3, Debt. The quiet thief of time. Debt doesn't feel dangerous at first. It feels normal. Convenient. Everyone has it. That's why it works. Debt doesn't steal your money first. It steals your future. Every dollar you owe tomorrow limits what you can choose today. It keeps you in jobs you dislike. It makes you tolerate stress you shouldn't. It delays risk that could change your life because debt removes margin. Debt turns income into obligation. You stop earning for yourself. You start earning for yesterday's decisions. Wealthy people aren't anti-debt because they're scared. They are cautious because they value flexibility. Flexibility to wait, flexibility to say no, flexibility to invest, flexibility to breed. Debt removes that. Needing constant income is the opposite of freedom. And debt doesn't just cost interest. It costs stress. Stress narrows thinking. Narrow thinking creates reactive decisions. Reactive decisions keep people trapped. Restraint isn't deprivation. It's delayed consumption. Every dollar you don't owe is a worker you can send into your future. Every dollar you owe is a worker sent against you. The simple path builds clean foundations first. You remove what drags you backward, then you grow forward. Chapter 4, Simple. Investing beats. Exciting strategies. Most people don't lose money because they pick bad investments. They lose money because they can't stay consistent. They chase excitement. They chase stories. They chase what feels smart right now. And excitement is the enemy of compounding. Simple investing works because it removes emotion, no constant decisions, no obsession with timing, no daily panic, just steady contributions over time. The wealthy don't try to outsmart the market. They outlast it. Complexity creates decision fatigue. Decision fatigue causes hesitation. Hesitation wastes time. And time is the most powerful force in wealth building. You don't need to be right often. You need to be right for a long time. Automation protects you from yourself. Emotion is unpredictable. Systems are stable. Stable systems build wealth. The biggest enemy isn't volatility. It's impatience. Ask yourself, am I trying to be clever with money or consistent? One builds ego. The other builds freedom. Chapter 5, Lifestyle. Inflation, the silent wealth killer. Most people think earning more will fix everything. It really does, because lifestyle inflation cancels raises quietly. A slightly better apartment. A newer car. More dining out. More subscriptions. More convenience. Each decision feels justified. I work hard. I deserve comfort. Individually, they look harmless. Together, they erase progress. If your expenses rise with your income, you will never feel wealthy. You'll feel busy. Pressured. Dependent. Wealthy people resist lifestyle inflation not because they're cheap, but because they understand what it costs: optionality. The ability to walk away. The ability to wait. The ability to say no. Luxury feels good now. Optionality feels good forever. Wealth is not how high your income goes. It's how low your required income can be. Freedom comes from controlling fixed costs. Not controlling desires, controlling fixed costs. Chapter 6, Time. The multiplier. Nobody respects. Wealth is not about effort alone. It's about how long you let good decisions work. Time is the multiplier, and it only works if you don't interrupt it. The advantage wealthy people have isn't always higher income. It's that they start earlier, and they don't stop. Compounding is slow before it's unstoppable. That's why impatience destroys more wealth than bad investments. Starting early doesn't mean being young. It means starting now. Time smooths volatility. People who stay invested through cycles benefit from recovery. People who panic lock in losses. Automation matters because boredom is dangerous. Boredom makes people seek excitement. Excitement interrupts compounding. The wealthy embrace boredom. Boredom is often the sound of things working quietly. Chapter 7: Income. How to use more without losing control. More income doesn't automatically create wealth. Control does. Without control, higher income becomes higher stress. When income rises, most people celebrate by upgrading life immediately. The raise never touches freedom. Wealthy people delay lifestyle upgrades. They let systems absorb new income fast. Savings increase, investing increases, debt shrinks, buffers grow. Income should reduce fragility first. It should by margin. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your life become freer or just more expensive? That answer reveals your system. Chapter 8: Freedom. The real reason you want money. Strip everything else away and money matters for one reason: freedom. Freedom to choose your time. Freedom to protect your energy. Freedom to walk away without fear. Most people confuse wealth with consumption. But buying more usually creates more obligation, more payments, maintenance, and pressure. True freedom comes from reducing dependence. Freedom isn't a finish line. It's a gradient. Every step, saving, reducing fixed cost, investing, building buffers, gives you more control. Control feels better than status ever will. Chapter 9: The system that makes wealth inevitable. Wealth isn't built by motivation. It's built by systems. A simple, durable system looks like this: you earn income. A fixed percentage is automatically saved or invested. Expenses stay below your means. Lifestyle stays stable as income grows. Time does the rest. This works because it respects human psychology. It doesn't assume perfection. It assumes you'll be inconsistent and designs around it. The simpler the system, the harder it is to break. Wealth becomes a side effect of a well-designed life. And when wealth is built correctly, it often feels boring. Boring is safe. Safe allows time. Time allows compounding. Chapter 10: Why? The simple path feels slow. If you're honest, this path can feel underwhelming. No shortcuts. No fireworks. Just repetition, restraint, patience. That's exactly why it works. Most people abandon the simple path because it doesn't feed the ego. There's no applause, no validation, no social proof. This is the test: can you keep doing the right thing when it doesn't look impressive? Most people don't fail because they make bad choices. They fail because they abandon good choices too early. The simple path requires boredom tolerance. Roots grow before branches. By the time growth is visible, it's already irreversible. Wealth demands commitment before proof. Chapter 11: Identity. Money follows who you think you are. Money follows identity. Your behavior is your self-image in motion. You save because you see yourself as someone who plans. You invest because you see yourself as a long-term thinker. When identity and behavior conflict, identity wins. That's why people sabotage progress. They still see themselves as bad with money, always broke, never lucky. So when progress appears, it feels unfamiliar, and they return to what feels familiar, even if it hurts. The simple path requires an identity shift. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be better." You start living as someone who keeps it simple. Identity is trained through small decisions. Save once, you become someone who saves. Invest once, you become someone who invests. Delay once, you become someone who waits. The story strengthens. Behavior stabilizes. Wealth becomes natural. Chapter 12. Patience under pressure. Anyone can be disciplined when life is calm. The test arrives with pressure, job loss, downturns, emergencies, fear. Pressure exposes belief. If you don't believe in your system, you override it when fear hits. Simplicity survives pressure. Complexity collapses. Under stress, fewer choices means fewer mistakes. Margin buys patience. Patience prevents destruction. Emergency funds matter not just financially, but psychologically. They give you space to think clearly instead of panicking. Sometimes the smartest move is doing nothing. Stillness isn't inaction. It's confidence in preparation. Chapter 13. Comparison. How people lose wealth quietly. Comparison is expensive because it makes you impatient. Impatience changes behavior. Behavior determines wealth. People abandon the simple path not because it stops working, but because someone else looks ahead. So they rush. Upgrade too early. Stretch expenses. Invest emotionally. They destroy their advantage. The wealthy measure progress differently: less stress, more margin, more options, more control. Those aren't visible. That's why comparison is a trap. Chapter 14. Contentment. The most underrated strategy. Contentment is not settling. It's refusing to be financially manipulated by dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is expensive. It drives upgrades, emotional spending, symbols instead of security. Contentment breaks the cycle. The more content you are, the less money controls you. The less money controls you, the easier wealth becomes. Wealthy people optimize for peace, not stimulation. Peace supports patience. Patience builds wealth. Chapter 15. Risk. Why smart wealth avoids drama. Risk is not boldness. It's exposure without preparation. Wealthy people avoid unnecessary risk. They take survivable, repeatable risks. Any strategy that can wipe you out is not a strategy. It's a gamble. Wealth compounds only if you stay in the game. The simple path values durability over acceleration. Drama creates stress. Stress creates mistakes. Mistakes interrupt compounding. Protect the engine. Chapter 16. Self-trust, the skill that makes wealth stick. Motivation fades. Novelty disappears. Results take time. This is where most people drift. They stop trusting themselves. Self-trust is earned by keeping small promises. Save when it's boring. Invest when it's uneventful. Hold when it's uncomfortable. Consistency builds identity. Identity protects behavior. Behavior builds wealth. Constant tweaking often isn't intelligence. It's anxiety disguised as action. The simple path values consistency before optimization. Chapter 17. Long horizons. Most financial mistakes come from short timelines. People want results this month, this quarter, this year. Wealth needs decades. When you think in decades, urgency disappears and your decisions improve immediately. Long-term thinking asks, what would this look like in 10 years if repeated? Wealth is built by decisions that age well. You don't need to get rich fast. You need to avoid getting poor slowly. Chapter 18. The simple way is a decision. There's no final secret. You already know the simple way. The only question is whether you'll live it. Simplicity is chosen again and again, when spending is easier than restraint, when quitting is more exciting than consistency, when comparison feels louder than patience. This isn't about getting rich fast. It's about getting rich right, rich in time, options, and calm. Financial freedom is built by boring decisions repeated for years. You don't need to change everything today. You need to stop sabotaging the system, simplify expenses, automate saving, invest consistently, resist lifestyle inflation, think in decades, protect peace years from now. Someone will ask how you did it. Your answer will sound almost too simple. I didn't chase more. I needed less. And I stayed consistent. If this gave you clarity, make a personal contract with yourself, not to be perfect, just to stay on the simple path. One final question. What simple decision will you repeat from today onward? The lie you were taught. Most people were raised on the same script. Go to school. Get a job. Work hard. Save money. Retire someday. It sounds responsible. It sounds safe. It sounds logical. And yet it fails millions of people every year. Why? Because that script was never designed to create freedom. It was designed to create compliance. It teaches earning, not control. Working, not wealth building. Survival, not escape. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If saving alone made people rich, teachers would be millionaires. If hard work alone created wealth, the poorest countries would be the richest. If education alone guaranteed success, anxiety wouldn't be the currency of adulthood. So why do we keep following rules that clearly don't work? Because nobody taught us better once. Why you must learn money rules, or be ruled by money? Money isn't neutral. Money rewards structure. Money punishes ignorance. Money amplifies behavior. If you don't understand money, it uses you. If you do understand it, it serves you. Most people live in reaction mode, reacting to bills, emergencies, inflation, fear. The wealthy live by rules. Rules remove emotion from decisions. Rules create consistency. Rules protect you when motivation disappears. This audiobook is not about getting rich quick. It's about never being poor again, mentally, emotionally, financially. That requires rules that don't change when life gets hard. Rule 1. Money follows clarity, not wishes. Poverty thrives in confusion. If you don't know how much you earn, how much you spend, where your money leaks, what you want money to do, then money will vanish faster than you can earn it. Most people avoid clarity because it's uncomfortable. It forces truth. And usually the truth is this: you're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because your money has no instructions. Money without instructions behaves like water poured onto sand. It disappears. Rule 2. Poverty is not a lack of money, it's a habit. This offends people because they want poverty to be only external: bad luck, low wages, unfair systems. Those exist, but they are not the root. The root is habitual thinking: how you speak about money, how you react to money, how you associate money with fear, guilt, shame. If every income increase creates higher spending, it's not a money problem. It's a habit problem. If every bonus disappears, that's not fate. That's conditioning. And if you say, money always leaves me, you're not describing reality. You're reinforcing identity. And identity wins. Rule 3. Never work for money without learning from it. Most people work like machines: time in, paycheck out. The wealthy work for education first, money second. They ask, what is this job teaching me? What skills am I gaining? What systems am I learning? What leverage am I building? If your work doesn't increase your future earning power, it is quietly trapping you. You don't escape poverty by earning more. You escape poverty by becoming more valuable. Rule 4. Saving alone will never make you rich. Saving is protection, not growth. Saving stops you from drowning. It does not take you to shore. Inflation punishes idle money. Time erodes cash that just sits. You save to survive emergencies. You invest to escape dependence. Confuse the two and you stay stuck forever. Rule 5. Debt is a tool or a weapon. Most people experience debt as pain because they use it emotionally: status, boredom, validation, escape. Debt used emotionally enslaves you. Debt used strategically accelerates you. The difference is education. Ignorance turns debt into chains. Knowledge turns debt into leverage. A truth you must accept. This audiobook is not gentle. It doesn't flatter excuses. Because the goal isn't comfort. The goal is freedom. And here is the foundation beneath all rules: money does not change people. Money reveals them. If you can't handle small money with discipline, more money won't save you. Rules come first. Without rules, money magnifies chaos. The race that changes nothing. Almost everyone experiences this: you earn more, raise, new job, opportunity. For a moment you feel relief. Then the anxiety returns, and the numbers shrink again. Why? Because income does not create wealth. Behavior does. That's why some people earn 6 figures and live in fear, while others earn less and feel calm. Until behavior changes, money only passes through you. It never stays with you. If this is uncomfortable, good. Discomfort means the old story is cracking. Rule 6. Lifestyle. Will always try to match income. Lifestyle expansion destroys more futures than bad luck ever could. More money arrives, and expenses quietly rise with it: higher standards, more convenience, less tolerance for discomfort. Most people use extra income to buy comfort, not freedom. And comfort is addictive. If lifestyle rises with income, poverty just wears better clothes. Rule 7. If you don't control emotions, money will control you. Money is emotional before it's logical. Fear creates hoarding. Ego creates overspending. Shame creates avoidance. Greed creates gambling. Most financial disasters aren't math failures. They are emotional reactions. Wealthy people build emotional discipline, delayed gratification, boredom tolerance, impulse resistance. Because emotional control is financial power. Rule 8. Money rewards patience and punishes urgency. Urgency is expensive. When you rush, you overpay. You accept weak deals. You make bad decisions to relieve pressure. The wealthy wait. They observe. They let the right opportunities come. Patience isn't passive. It's strategic. If you can wait while others panic, money eventually moves toward you. The invisible line people never cross. There's a line between those who struggle forever and those who escape. That line is responsibility. Not blame. Not guilt. Responsibility. The moment you accept, your income reflects skills, your lifestyle reflects choices, your future reflects habits, you regain power. As long as money problems are always outside you, you remain trapped. Identity is the real financial ceiling. Most people never become wealthy because they never rewire identity. Poor identity: worker, consumer, survivor. Wealth identity: builder, owner, strategist. Money obeys who you believe you are. I'm bad with money. You avoid learning: I'll never be rich. You sabotage progress: money is evil. You repel opportunity: beliefs act like invisible governors. Wealth requires a new self-image, not arrogance, but permission. Permission to earn more. Permission to keep more. Permission to grow beyond your past. One day is the most expensive word. One day I'll invest. One day I'll take control. One day I'll start. One day rarely arrives. The wealthy act before they feel ready. The poor wait until they feel safe. Safety delays action. Action creates safety. Rule 9. Never confuse activity with progress. Many people are busy all day and still broke. Hustle without direction leads nowhere. The real question isn't, how hard am I working? It's, is this effort compounding or resetting every month? If your income depends entirely on your presence, you're trapped in a loop. Break the loop or it will run your life. Rule 10. Money flow stored. Systems, not effort. Effort is temporary. Systems are permanent. A system pays you repeatedly for work done once. A system doesn't get tired, emotional, or distracted. Poor people sell time. Wealthy people build systems. Not as moral judgment, structural truth. If you have no systems, your life will always require constant effort just to survive. The remaining rules in one clear framework. Your 24 rules are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to build a structure you can live inside. Here's how they organize into 4 pillars. Pillar 1. Clarity and control. Track money. Know the leaks. Decide where it goes before it arrives. Pillar 2. Emotional discipline. No emotional spending. No panic decisions. Delay gratification. Pillar 3. Systems and protection. Build buffers. Automate investing/saving. Use insurance and diversification as shields. Pillar 4. Ownership and long-term thinking. Build assets, not appearances. Multiple income streams reduce fear. Think in decades, not weekends. Final message: the decision that ends. Poverty. This isn't about rules on paper. It's about the decision to never return to financial chaos again. Hope waits. Rules act. Hope reacts to bills. Rules build buffers. Wealth is not luxury first. Wealth is panic removed first. The purpose of money is not status. It's time, options, peace. And the final truth is simple: you don't manage money once. You manage it forever, through habits. If you follow these rules long enough, money stops being the main character in your anxiety. It becomes background. And when money moves into the background, you finally move into the foreground. No one will clap at first. No one will notice. Until one day they ask why you're so calm, why you're never stressed, why you always seem prepared. And you know the answer: you stopped living without rules. Rules turn chaos into freedom. What you do next decides everything. Master your mind. Get rich easily. 01. Most people believe money lives outside of them, inside a job, a business, luck, opportunity, or someone else's permission. That belief is exactly why they never become rich. Because money doesn't respond to effort first. It responds to identity. And identity is built in the mind. Before a single dollar shows up in your life, a decision shows up in your thinking. Before wealth becomes visible, it becomes inevitable inside your mental world. That is the truth nobody teaches. This audiobook is not about tricks. Not about shortcuts. Not about chasing money. This is about mastering your mind so completely that wealth has no choice but to follow. Welcome to Master Your Mind. Chapter 1. Why most people work hard and stay poor. Look around. Some people work endlessly and never break free. Others move with calm confidence and seem to attract opportunity without chasing it. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't education. It isn't background. It's mental structure. Most people live in reaction mode. They wake up already behind. They start the day with messages, news, problems, other people's urgency. They let the world decide who they are that day. And when your mind is reactive, money can't stay because money requires direction, not desperation. A reactive mind asks, why is this happening to me? How do I survive? What if I fail? A trained mind asks, what am I building? How do I leverage this? What does this moment demand from my stronger self? Rich people are not calm because they have money. They have money because they trained calm before chaos. And calm is power. Chapter 2, Wealth. Is not a result, it's readiness. This may feel uncomfortable at first. Wealth doesn't arrive because you need it. It arrives because you're ready to hold it. Need is a signal of pressure. Readiness is a signal of control. Money isn't emotional. It doesn't care about your struggle. It doesn't reward effort alone. It responds to clarity, discipline, consistency. That's why sudden money destroys untrained minds. That's why lottery winners lose it. That's why quick success collapses people who never built the inner foundation. You don't get rich by earning more. You get rich by becoming the kind of person who can keep money, grow it, and deploy it intelligently. That transformation starts here. Chapter 3, Why? Money feels hard. For you. Money feels hard when your mind associates it with fear, fear of loss, fear of judgment, fear of responsibility, fear of visibility. If you believe money brings pressure, problems, or isolation, your subconscious will protect you by keeping you away from it. That's not weakness. That's programming. And programming can be rewritten. Most people were taught, money is scarce, money changes people, be grateful for what you get, don't want too much. Those beliefs create internal ceilings. A trained mind understands this. Money doesn't change you. It reveals you. If you're disciplined, money amplifies discipline. If you're generous, money multiplies generosity. If you're reckless, money accelerates collapse. So the real question isn't, how do I make more money? The real question is, who must I become so money feels safe around me? Chapter 4, The moment you stop waiting. The untrained mind waits for confidence, certainty, permission. The trained mind moves first and lets clarity catch up. That is where wealth begins. Rich minds don't wait for motivation. They operate on decision. Decision is stronger than emotion. Decision doesn't negotiate with fear. At some point, every wealthy person made a quiet internal agreement, no matter how uncomfortable this gets, I'm not going back. Most people never cross that line. They stay in preparation forever. They stay in learning mode. They stay in almost. And almost pays nothing. Chapter 5. Discipline creates freedom, not suffering. People fear discipline because they think it removes freedom. The opposite is true. Discipline removes chaos, and chaos is expensive. Chaos costs you missed opportunities, emotional spending, reactive decisions, burned relationships, lost focus. A disciplined mind doesn't feel restricted. It feels clean. Clean thoughts. Clean priorities. Clean energy. And clean energy attracts resources. If you can't manage your thoughts, time, emotions, and impulses, you can't manage wealth. This isn't punishment. It's preparation. Chapter 6, Your self-image sets. Your income ceiling. You will not consistently outperform the way you see yourself. If you see yourself as a just trying, not that type, someone who gets by, your results will obey that image. A trained mind upgrades identity fast, not through arrogance, through alignment. You act like someone who honors responsibility, patience, and long-term thinking. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, does this align with what I'm building? That shift changes everything. Chapter 7, Thinking. Big is not optional. Small thinking feels safe. It avoids disappointment. But safety is expensive. Big thinking is not reckless thinking. It's expanded perspective. Rich minds think in systems leverage decades, not days. They ask, what compounds? What scales? What survives without me being present? That thinking begins in silence, solitude, and deliberate training. If this unsettles you, good. It means something in you recognizes the truth. Next, we break down how to reprogram daily thinking, because most people sabotage themselves before breakfast. Chapter 8, Why? Morning's control. Your money. Every financial outcome you have today was rehearsed mentally long before it appeared. Most people repeat the same thoughts daily without realizing they are programming their future. They wake up and immediately consume noise, news, social media, messages, other people's problems. Their mind starts the day reacting instead of directing. A trained mind understands, your first thoughts set the tone for your decisions. Wealthy people protect mornings because they understand leverage. Chapter 9, The Invisible Habits that keep you broke. People don't stay broke because they lack opportunity. They stay broke because of invisible habits, checking instead of creating, reacting instead of planning, spending energy everywhere except where it compounds. A trained mind audits energy daily. Where did my attention go today? What drained me? What moved me closer to my long-term vision? If you can't answer those, your life is being steered by default. And default settings rarely lead to wealth. Chapter 10. Thinking time is more valuable than action. This will challenge you. Action without direction is noise. Most people are busy. Few are effective. Rich minds schedule thinking like meetings. They step back and ask, what actually moves the needle? What am I tolerating that costs me momentum? What system can replace my effort? 1 hour of focused thinking can save years of wasted motion. Chapter 11, Mental. Cleanliness. Your environment shapes your thinking. If your environment is cluttered, rushed, chaotic, your financial decisions mirror that. A trained mind removes unnecessary inputs. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your attention. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Wealth grows in quiet spaces. Silence sharpens judgment. Judgment multiplies resources. Chapter 12. Emotional control is a wealth skill. Emotions aren't the enemy. Unmanaged emotions are. Most financial mistakes are emotional: impulse spending, fear-based decisions, panic exits, ego risks. A trained mind pauses, observes emotion without obeying it. That pause is power. Edges compound. Emotional discipline is an edge. Chapter 13, Stop. Seeking validation. And money moves faster. Approval is expensive. It creates hesitation and keeps you small. Rich minds are internally validated. They don't need applause to move. They trust preparation and process. Money moves toward certainty, not loudness. Not arrogance. Certainty. Chapter 14. Momentum is built by standards, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Standards don't negotiate. That's why wealthy people look disciplined even on bad days. They aren't special. They are structured. Chapter 15. Systems, not events. Poor thinking lives in events. I had a bad month. This didn't work. I missed my chance. Rich thinking lives in systems. What repeats? What compounds? What process stays? Events are emotional. Systems are mathematical. Money follows math, not moods. When you focus on inputs, pressure drops. You stop chasing wins. You build machines. Chapter 16, Time is the real currency. Money is replaceable. Time is not. A trained mind treats time like capital. Every hour is invested or wasted. There is no neutral. Scrolling feels harmless. Procrastination feels safe. Distraction feels deserved. But time doesn't forgive. Rich minds design days intentionally. They automate what drains them and protect what compounds. They don't ask, what do I feel like doing? They ask, what deserves my time? Chapter 17, Easy. Pleasure has a hidden cost. Easy pleasure steals ambition quietly. One more episode. One more scroll. One more delay. A trained mind understands a brutal rule: if it feels good now and costs you later, it's expensive. If it feels uncomfortable now and pays you later, it's cheap. Wealth is built by choosing cheap discomfort repeatedly. Chapter 18, Identity is built through evidence. You don't upgrade identity through affirmations. You upgrade identity through proof: small promises kept, daily disciplines honored, private victories stacked. Confidence grows from consistency, not hype. Money responds to earned confidence. Chapter 19. Permission is a trap. Waiting for permission to start, to earn more, to think differently is an invisible cage. A trained mind studies, prepares, and executes quietly. No announcements. Results speak. Chapter 20. Delayed reaction creates dominance. Reaction is emotional. Response is intelligent. A pause between stimulus and action creates control. Markets reward patience. Life rewards composure. Money follows stability. When others panic, you wait. When others rush, you analyze. When others react, you respond. That gap is where advantage lives. Chapter 21, The breakthrough comes when you feel tired. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they quit one step before momentum takes over. Success often arrives when you feel uncertain and quietly doubtful. That moment is the doorway. A trained mind recognizes it. An untrained mind retreats. Chapter 22. Progresses delayed by design. Growth is not linear. It's compressed. Effort goes in daily. Results show up late. That delay destroys most people because they misread it. A trained mind respects lag time. It keeps building when nothing is visible, because visibility is not the signal. Consistency is. Chapter 23. Success can trigger self-sabotage. Success threatens old identity. When things start working, fear shows up. What if I can't maintain this? What if I fail publicly? What if I outgrow people? So the mind creates chaos. Not because you're lazy. Because growth feels unsafe to an old identity. A trained mind anticipates this and tightens structure as results improve. Discipline increases as success approaches. It doesn't loosen. Chapter 24. Emotional neutrality. Money flows to calm decision makers. The richest minds are boring under pressure. No celebration too early, no panic too fast, no wild swings. Centered minds think clearly. Clear thinking compounds. Chapter 25. Long-term thinking in a short-term world. The world is addicted to now, quick wins, fast validation. A trained mind asks, where does this decision put me in 3 years? Is this leverage or comfort? Will future me thank me? Long-term thinking creates unfair advantages because so few people practice it. Chapter 26, The Wealth Power of Saying No. Every yes costs time, energy, focus. A trained mind says no deliberately, to distractions, draining relationships, urgent nonsense. Every no protects a yes that matters. This isn't arrogance. It's prioritization. Chapter 27, Quiet. Work beats loud. Intentions. Talking feels productive. Planning feels smart. Announcing feels motivating. But execution is silent. Noise leaks energy. Silence concentrates it. Most powerful progress stays invisible until it becomes undeniable. Chapter 28. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure reveals weak systems. It exposes fragile habits. Most people escape pressure. A trained mind studies it. Pressure doesn't destroy you. It introduces you to yourself. Hard moments are diagnostic. They show what must be strengthened next. Chapter 29, How the rich think. During hard times, most people panic. The rich adjust. They ask, how does this change the rules? Where is leverage now? What opportunity exists in disruption? Every environment has leverage. Every downturn reshuffles power. A trained mind recalculates instead of freezing. Chapter 30, Failure is data. Failure hurts less than the meaning you attach to it. Untrained minds label themselves, I'm not cut out for this. Trained minds refuse identity-based conclusions. Failure becomes data. Nothing more. Chapter 31, Real Confidences. Internal. Most confidence is borrowed, numbers, applause, approval. Real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. When you have evidence you can rely on, you stop drifting. That stability becomes power. Chapter 32, The Final Truth. This was never about money. Money is the scoreboard. The real game is internal, how you think under pressure, decide in silence, respond in uncertainty. The final illusion you must drop is simple, one day I feel ready. You never feel ready before you grow. You feel ready after you act. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It's a byproduct. Clarity doesn't arrive before movement. It arrives during it. A mastered mind looks like, come under uncertainty, discipline without motivation, patience without passivity, confidence without arrogance. A mastered mind doesn't chase. It builds. And when you build this mind, wealth becomes a consequence, not a wish. Final question, what would a person who has mastered their mind do next? Do that. Today. The mindset of the 1%. What rich people know that you don't, rewritten script. 01, you can feel it, can't you? Something inside you is shifting. Something is waking up. Because at some point in life, you realize a truth that changes everything. You don't have to be born rich to die rich. But you do have to be born again in your mind. That is the beginning of the 1% mindset. This audiobook isn't about money, not yet. Money comes later. Money is the outcome. Mindset is the cause. The 1% think differently long before they earn differently. Welcome to the mindset of the 1%, the blueprint behind people who build their lives instead of inheriting them. The psychology of those who refuse to be controlled by circumstance. The truth most people never learn because they never ask better questions. You're here because something inside you is done being average. Done watching other people win while you stay the same. Done knowing you could be great and not living it. That ends now. This is the moment your story changes. Chapter 1, The 1%. And playing the same game. Here's the first secret the wealthy rarely say out loud. Most people aren't losing because they are stupid or unlucky. They are losing because they are playing a game the 1% designed. The average person tries to win at fitting in, surviving the month, not upsetting anyone, doing what they are told. The 1% try to win at leverage, time multiplication, quiet power, independence, becoming ungovernable. Same world. Different game. And the 1% understand something most people never fully grasp. If your mind is controlled, your life is controlled. Break mental dependency and you become dangerous in the best way. So the 1% mindset begins with a rule. Rule 1. Think in decades, not days. Poor thinking lives in today, how you feel today, what someone said today, what went wrong today. Rich thinking lives in decades, where you'll be in 10 years, what habits will compound, what skills will outlive the economy. Short-term thinking makes life feel urgent, stressed, chaotic. Long-term thinking makes life calm, strategic, intentional. The 1% ask, will this matter in 5 years? If not, they stop donating attention to it. Small minds drown in small problems. Big minds outgrow them. Chapter 2, The 1%. Guard their mind. Like it's gold. The most powerful asset of the 1% isn't money. It's the mental environment they protect. Study high performers, founders, creators, leaders, athletes, and you'll see the same pattern. They protect mental space with brutal boundaries. They avoid negative people, chaotic conversations, gossip, emotional parasites, constant outrage, low-energy distractions. They choose silence, clarity, intentional information, mentors, books, forward-focused people. Why? Because the world is designed to keep you reactive, emotional, distracted, overwhelmed. And scattered attention kills potential. The 1% are calm because they control what enters their mind. The 99% feel chaotic because their mind is open to everyone. Ask yourself honestly, who has access to your mind without earning it? Which voices slow you down? How much energy do you waste reacting instead of creating? Control inputs and outputs transform. Chapter 3, The 1%. Don't seek approval. They seek results. A painful truth, most people fail because they want to be liked more than they want to win. Approval becomes the prison. Results become the key. Average thinking says, what will they think? What if I fail? Will they laugh? The 1% ask, will this move me forward? Is this aligned with my future self? Will this compound? Approval never built a legacy. Discomfort did. When you stop living for applause, you begin living for mastery. Because the 1% learn early, people respect results, not intentions, not opinions, not dreams. Results come from discipline. Chapter 4, The 1%. Turn pain into power. Life isn't easy for the wealthy, especially at the beginning. But here's the difference, average minds run from discomfort. The 1% extract value from it. Pain contains lessons. Failure contains data. Rejection builds resilience. Struggle builds capability. Pain isn't the enemy. Avoidance is. When most people hit difficulty, they say, this is too hard. When the 1% hit difficulty, they say, this is training. Same event. Different meaning. Different destiny.